There are many questions. The first, is self-actualization a basic need of man? First try to understand what is meant by self-actualization. H. Maslow has used this term self-actualization. Man is born as a potentiality. He is not really actual, just potential. Man is born as a possibility, not as an actuality. He may become something. He may attain actualization of his potentialities. He may not attain. The opportunity may be used, may not be used. And nature is not forcing you to become actual. You are free. You can choose to become actual. You can choose not to do anything about it. Man is born as a seed. So no man is born as fulfilled, just with a possibility of fulfillment. If that is the case, and that is the case, then self-actualization becomes the basic need. Because unless you are fulfilled, unless you are what you can be, or what you are meant to be, unless your destiny is fulfilled, unless you attain to actuality, unless your seed becomes a fulfilled tree, you will feel you are missing something. And everyone is feeling. Everyone is feeling that he is missing something. That feeling of missing is really because of this, that you are not yet actual. It is not really that you are missing riches, or position, prestige, power. Even if you get whatsoever you demand, riches, power, prestige, anything, you will feel this constant missing within you. Because this missing is not related with anything outward. It is related with your inner growth. Unless you become fulfilled, unless you come to a realization, a flowering, unless you come to an inner perfection and you feel now, this is what I was meant to be, this missing will be felt. And you cannot destroy this feeling of missing something by anything else. So self-actualization means a person who has become what he was to become. What he was born as a seed, and now he has flowered. He has come to the complete growth, inner growth, to the end inside. The moment you feel that all your potentialities have become actual, you will feel the peak of life, of love, of existence itself. Abraham Maslow, who has used this term self-actualization, has also coined another term, peak experience. When one attains to oneself, he reaches a peak of bliss. Then there is no hankering after anything. He is totally content with himself. Now nothing is lacking. No desire, no demands, no movement. Whatsoever he is totally content with himself. Self-actualization becomes peak experience, and only a self-actualized person can attain peak experiences. Then whatsoever he touches, whatsoever he is doing or not doing, even just existence for him is a peak experience. Just to be is blissful. Now, bliss is not concerned with anything outside. It is just a byproduct of the inner growth. A Buddha is a self-actualized person. That's why we picture Buddha, Mahavir and others. We have made sculptures, pictures, depictions of them sitting on a fully bloomed lotus. That fully bloomed lotus is the peak of flowering inside. Inside they have flowered and become fully bloomed. That inner flowering gives a radiance, a constantly showering of bliss from them. Even all those who come in their shadow, all those who come near them, they feel a silent milieu around them. It is reported. It is a myth. But myths are beautiful and they say much which cannot be said otherwise. It is reported when Mahavir will move, then around him in the area of 12 kosas, that is 24 miles, all flowers will bloom. Even if it was not the season for the flowers, they will bloom. This is simply a poetic expression that even if you were not really self-actualized, if you will come in contact with Mahavir, his own flowering will become infectious, and you will feel an inner flowering in yourself also. Even if it is not a ripe season for you, you are not ready, but you will reflect. You will feel an echo. Mahavir will be near you, and you will feel an echo within you. And you will have a glimpse of what you can be. Self-actualization is the basic need. And when I say basic, I mean that if all your needs are fulfilled, all except self-realization, self-actualization, you will feel unfulfilled. On the contrary, if self-actualization happens and nothing is fulfilled, yet you will feel a deep, total fulfillment. That's why Buddha is a beggar. But yet an emperor. Buddha came to Kasi when he became enlightened. The king of Kasi came to see him. And he asked, he said, I don't see anything with you. You are just a beggar. But yet, I myself feel a beggar in comparison to you. You don't have anything. But the way you walk, the way you look, the way you laugh, it seems that the whole world is your kingdom. And you have nothing visibly, nothing. So where is your secret of power? You look like an emperor. Really, no emperor looked like that. As if the whole world belongs to you. You are the king. But where is your power, the source? So Buddha says, it is in me. My power, my source of power. Whatsoever you feel around me is really within me. I don't have anything except myself. But it is enough. I am fulfilled. Now I don't desire anything. I have become desireless. Really, a self-actualized person will become desireless. Remember this. Ordinarily we say that if you become desireless, you will know thyself. The contrary is more true. If you know thyself, you will become desireless. And the emphasis of tantra is not on being desireless, but on becoming self-actualized. Then desirelessness follows. Because desire means you are not fulfilled within. You miss something. You hanker after it. You go on from one desire to another in search of fulfillment. That search never ends, because one desire creates another desire. Really, one desire creates 10 desires. In search of a desireless state of bliss, if you go through desires, you will never reach. But if you try something else, methods of realizing your inner potentialities, making them actual, the more actual you become, the less and less desires will be felt. Because really they were felt only because you were empty within. When you are not empty within, desiring ceases. What to do about self-actualization? Two things have to be understood. One, self-actualization doesn't mean that if you become a great painter or a great musician or a great poet, you will be self-actualized. Of course, a part of you will be actualized, and even that gives much contentment. If you have a potentiality of being a musician, and if you fulfill it, and you become a musician, a part of you will be fulfilled, but not the total. The remaining humanity within you will remain unfulfilled. You will be lopsided. One part will have grown, and the remaining will have remained just like a hanging stone in your neck. So look at a poet. When he is in his poetic mood, he looks like a Buddha. He forgets himself completely. The ordinary man in the poet as if is no more there. So when a poet in his mood, he has a peak, a partial peak. And sometimes poets have glimpses which are only possible with enlightened, Buddha-like minds. A poet can speak like Buddha. For example, Khalil Gibran. He speaks like a Buddha. He is not a Buddha. He is a poet, a great poet. So if you see Khalil Gibran through his poetry, he looks like Buddha, Christ, or Krishna. But if you go and meet the man Khalil Gibran, he is just ordinary. He talks about love so beautifully. Even a Buddha may not talk so beautifully. But Buddha knows love with his total being. Khalil Gibran knows love in his poetic flights. When he is on his poetic flight, he has glimpses of love, beautiful. He expresses them. Rare insights. But if you go and see the real Khalil Gibran, the man, you will feel a disparity. The poet and the man are far away. The poet seems something which happens to this man sometimes. But this man is not the poet. That's why poets feel that when they are creating poetry, someone else is creating, they are not creating. They feel as if they have become instruments of some other energy, some other force. They are no more. This feeling comes because really their totality is not actualized, only a part of it, a fragment. You have not touched the sky. Only your one finger had touched the sky, and you remain rooted on the earth. Sometimes you jump, and for a moment you are not on the earth. You have deceived the gravitation, but the next moment you are on the earth again. If one's poet is fulfilled, he will have glimpses, partial glimpses. Once musician is fulfilled, he will have partial glimpses. It is said of Beethoven, then that when he will be on the stage, directing, he was a different man, altogether different. Goethe has said that when Beethoven will be on stage directing his group, orchestra, he looked like God. He could not be said that he is an ordinary man. He was not man at all, superhuman. The way he looked, the way he raised his hand was all superhuman. But back from the stage, he was just an ordinary man. The man on the stage seemed to be possessed by something else. As if Beethoven is no more there, some other force has entered in him. Back down from the stage, he is again Beethoven, the man. Because of this, poets, musicians, great artists, creative people are more tense because they have two types of beings. Ordinary man is not so tense because he always lives on one. He lives on earth. But poets, musicians, great artists, they jump. They go beyond gravitation. In certain moments, they are not on this earth. They are not part of humanity. They become parts of a Buddha world, the land of the Buddhas. Then again, they are back here. They have 2 points of existence. Their personality is split. So every creative artist, great artist, is in a certain way insane. The tension is so much. The rift, the gap between these two types of existences is so great, unbridgeably great. Sometimes he is just an ordinary man. Sometimes he becomes Buddha-like. Between these 2 points he is divided. But he has glimpses. When I say self-actualization, I don't mean that you become a great poet or you become a great musician. I mean you become a total man. I don't say a great man, because a great man is always partial. A great politician. In anything, greatness is always partial. In one direction, one moves and moves and moves, and in all other dimensions, all other directions, one remains the same, lopsided. When I say become a total man, I don't mean become a great man. I mean create a balance, be centered. Be fulfilled as a man, not as a musician, not as a poet, not as an artist. Fulfilled as man. What does this mean? Fulfilled as man. A great poet is a great poet because of great poetry. A great musician is great because of great music. A great man is great man because of certain things he has done. A great hero. A great man is partial. In any direction, greatness is partial, fragmentary. That's why great men have to face more anguish than ordinary man. What is total man? What is meant by being a whole man, total man? It is mean. First thing, be centered. Don't exist decentralized. Don't exist without center. This moment you are something, the next moment something else. People come to me and I ask them generally that where do you feel your center? In the heart, in the mind, in the navel, where? At the sex center, where? Where do you feel your center? Generally, they say sometimes we feel in the head, sometimes in the heart. Sometimes we don't feel at all. So I tell them to close eyes before me and feel it just now. This is the majority. In majority cases this happens. They say, even just now, for a moment we feel that we are centered in the head. But the next moment we are not there, as if we are in the heart. And the next moment the center has slipped. It is somewhere at the sex center or somewhere else. Really, you are not centered. You are momentarily centered. Each moment has its own center. So you go on shifting. When mind is functioning, you feel that head is the center. When you are in love, you feel it is the heart. When you are not doing anything particularly, you are confused. Where the center is, you cannot find it out. Because you can find it out only when you are working, doing something, then a particular part of the body becomes the center, but you are not centered. If you are not doing anything, you cannot find where is your center of being. A total man is centered. Whatsoever he is doing, he remains in the center. If his mind is functioning, he is thinking. Thinking goes on in the head, but he remains centered in the navel. That center is never missed. He uses head, but he never moves to the head. He uses the heart, but he never moves to the heart. All these things become instruments, and he remains centered. Secondly, he is balanced. Of course, when one is centered, one is balanced. His life is a deep balance. He is never one-sided. He is never on any extreme. He remains in the middle. Buddha has called this the middle path. He remains always in the middle. A man who is not centered, he will always move to the extreme. If he will eat much. He will overeat. Or he can fast. But right eating is impossible for him. Fast is easy. Overeating is easy. He can be in the world, committed, involved. Or he can renounce the world. But he can never be balanced. He can never remain in the middle. Because if you are not centered, you don't know what middle means. A person who is centered is always in the middle. never at any extreme. In everything, Buddha says, his eating is right eating. It is neither overeating nor fasting. His labor is right labor. Never too much, never too little. Whatsoever he is always balanced. First thing, a self-actualized person will be centered. Second thing, balanced. Thirdly, if these two things happen, centering, balance, many things will follow. Thirdly, he will be always at ease. Whatsoever the situation, the at easiness will not be lost. I say whatsoever the situation, unconditionally. The at easiness will not be lost, because one who is at the center is always at ease. Even if death comes, he will be at ease. He will receive death as one receives any other guest. If misery comes, he will receive. Whatsoever happens, it cannot dislodge him from his center. That at easiness is also a byproduct of being centered. For such a man, nothing is trivial, nothing is great. Everything becomes sacred, beautiful, holy. Everything. Whatsoever he is doing, whatsoever it is of ultimate concern, as if of ultimate concern. Nothing is trivial. He will say this is trivial. This is great. Really, things are not great. Neither they are small and trivial. The touch of the man is significant. A self-actualized person, a balance-centered person, changes everything. The very touch makes it great. Observe a Buddha. He walks. And he loved walking. If you go to Bodh Gaya, very attent on the bank of Niranjana, enlightenment, the place where he was sitting under the Bodhi tree, they have marked the place with his steps. He will meditate for 1 hour, then he will walk around. In Buddhist terminology, it is called Chankraman. He will sit under the Bodhi tree, then he will walk. But he will walk with the same attitude as if in meditation. Somebody asked Buddha, why you do this? Sometimes you sit With closed eyes, meditate, and then you walk. Buddha said, sitting to be silent is easy. So I walk, but I carry the same silence within. I sit, inside I am the same silent. I walk, inside I am the same silent. That inner quality. He meets an emperor. He meets a beggar. But Buddha is the same, the inner quality. Meeting a beggar, he is not different. Meeting an emperor, he is not different. He is the same. The beggar is not nobody, and the emperor is not somebody. And really, while meeting a Buddha, emperors have felt beggars, and beggars have felt emperors. The touch, the man, the quality, that remains. He was alive every day in the morning. He will say to his disciples, if you have to ask anything, ask. The day he was dying, in the morning, the same. He called his disciples and he said, now, if you want to ask anything, you can ask. And remember that this is the last morning. Before this day ends, I will be no more. He was the same. That was his daily questioning in the morning. He was the same. The day was the last, but he was the same. Just as any day, he would have inquired. He said, okay, if you have to ask anything, you can ask. But this is the last day. There was no change of tone. But the disciples began to weep. They forgot to ask anything. Buddha said, why are you weeping? If another day you would have wept, it was okay. But this is the last day. I will be no more by the evening. So don't waste time in weeping. Another day it was okay. You could have wasted time. Don't waste your time in weeping. Why are you weeping? Ask if you have to ask anything. He was the same in life and death. So thirdly, the man is at ease. Life and death are same. Bliss or misery are same. Nothing disturbs, nothing dislocates him from his home, from his centeredness. To such a man, you cannot add anything. You cannot take out anything of him. You cannot add anything into him. He is fulfilled. His each breath is a fulfilled breath, silent, blissful. He has attained to existence, to being. Man as total, he has flowers. This is not a partial flowering. Buddha is not a great poet. Of course, whatsoever he says is poetry. He is not a poet at all. But even if he moves, walks, it is poetry. He is not a painter. But whenever he says, whatsoever he says becomes a painting. He is not a musician, but his very being is music par excellence. The man as totality has attained. So now whatsoever he is doing or not doing, when he is sitting in silence, not doing anything, even his silence, his presence works, creates. It becomes creative. Tantra is concerned not with any partial growth. It is concerned with you as a total being. So three things: basic, centered, rooted, balanced, always in the middle. Of course, without any effort. If there is effort, then you are not balanced. At ease in universe, at home in existence. And then many things follow. This is a basic need, because really, unless this need is fulfilled, you are man only in name. You are man as possibility. You are not actually man. You can be. You have the potentiality, but the potentiality has to be made actual. Second question: kindly explain contemplation, concentration and meditation. Contemplation means thinking, directed thinking. We all think. That is not contemplation. That thinking is undirected, vague, leading nowhere. Really, our thinking is not contemplation, but what Freudians call association. One thought leads to another without any direction from you. The thought itself leads to another because of association. You see a dog crossing the street. The moment you see the dog, your mind starts thinking about dogs. The dog has led you. And then the mind has many associations. When you were a child, you were afraid of a particular dog. That dog comes to the mind. And the childhood comes to the mind. Then dogs are forgotten. Then just by association, you begin to daydream about your childhood. Then that childhood goes on being connected with other things, and you move in circles. Whenever you are at ease, try to go back from your thinking, from where this thought came. Go back, retrace these steps. Then you will see another thought was there, and that thought led to this. And they are not logically connected, because a dog on the street is How a dog on the street is connected with your childhood? There is no logical connection. Only association in your mind. If I was passing the street, the same dog will not lead me to my childhood. It will lead to something else. A third person, it will lead to something else. Everyone has associated chains in the mind. So one chain, any happening, any accident leads to the chain. Then the mind begins to function like a computer. Then one thing leads to another, another leads to another, and you go on. And the whole day you are doing this. Write down on a sheet of paper whatsoever comes to your mind, honestly. Then you will be just amazed. What is happening in your mind? No relation between two thoughts. And you go on doing this thinking, and you call this thinking. This is just association of one thought to another. And they lead themselves. You are led. Thinking becomes contemplation when it is not through association but directed. You are working on a particular problem. Then you bracket all associations. You move on that problem only. You direct your mind. The mind will try to escape from any bypath to any side way, to some association. You cut off all the sideways. Only on one road you direct your mind. A scientist working on a problem is in contemplation. A logician working on a problem, a mathematician working on a problem is in contemplation. A poet contemplating a flower, then the whole world is bracketed out. Then only this flower remains and the poet, and he moves with the flower. Many things from the sideways will attract. He doesn't allow his mind to move anywhere. Mind moves in one line, directed. It is contemplation. Science is based on contemplation. Any logical thinking is contemplation. Thought directed. Thinking guided. Thinking, ordinary thinking, is absurd. Contemplation is logical, rational. Then concentration. Concentration is staying at one point. It is not contemplation. It is not thinking. It is not contemplation. It is really being at one point, not allowing the mind to move at all. In thinking, mind moves as a madman, ordinary thinking. In contemplation, the madman is led, directed. He cannot escape anywhere. In concentration, it is not allowed to move. In ordinary thinking, it is allowed to move anywhere. In contemplation, it is allowed to move only somewhere. In concentration, it is not allowed to move. It is only allowed to be at one point. The whole energy, the whole movement stops. It sticks to one point. yoga is concerned with concentration. Ordinary man thinking undirected. Scientific mind thinking directed. Yogic mind thinking focused, fixed at one point. No movement allowed. And then meditation. In ordinary thinking, mind is allowed to move anywhere. In contemplation, allowed only in one direction. All other directions are cut off. In concentration, not allowed to move in one direction. Is allowed only to concentrate on one point. And in meditation, mind is not allowed at all. Meditation is no mind. These are four stages: ordinary thinking, contemplation, concentration, meditation. Meditation means no mind. Not even concentration is allowed. Mind itself is not allowed to be. That's why meditation cannot be grasped by mind. Up to concentration, mind has a reach, approachable reach. Mind can understand concentration. Mind cannot understand meditation. Really, mind is not allowed at all. In concentration, mind is allowed to be at one point, restrictedly allowed. In meditation, even that point is taken away. In ordinary thinking, all directions are open. In contemplation, only one direction is open. In concentration, only one point is open, not direction. In meditation, even that point is not open. Mind is not allowed to be. Ordinary thinking is the ordinary state of mind, and meditation is the highest possibility. The lowest rung is ordinary thinking, association, and the highest, the peak, is meditation, no mind. And with the second question, it is also asked, contemplation, concentration are mental processes. How mental process helps in achieving a state of no mind? The question is significant. Mind asks how mind itself can go beyond mind. How any mental process can help to achieve something which is not of the mind. It looks contradictory. How can your mind try, make effort to create a state which is not of mind? Try to understand. When mind is, what is there? A process of thinking. When no mind is meant, what is there? No process of thinking. If you go on decreasing your process of thinking, if you go on dissolving your thinking by and by, slowly, you are reaching no mind. Mind means thinking. No mind means non-thinking. And mind can help. Mind can help in committing suicide. You can commit suicide. But we never ask how a man who was alive can help himself to be dead. You can help yourself to be dead. Everyone is trying to help. You can help to yourself to be dead, and you are alive. Mind can help to be no mind. How mind can help? If the process of thinking goes on more and more dense, then you are proceeding from mind to more mind. If the process of thinking becomes less dense, is decreased, is slowed down, you are helping yourself towards no mind. It depends on you. And mind can be a help. Because really, mind is what you are doing with your consciousness, this very moment. If you leave your consciousness without doing anything with it, it becomes meditation. So there are two possibilities. Either slowly, gradually, you decrease your mind by and by. 1% decreased, then you have 99% mind and 1% no mind within you. It is as if you are removing furniture from your room. You have removed some furniture, some space is created there. Then you remove more furniture, more space is created there. When you have removed all the furniture, the whole room becomes space. Really, space is not created by or removing the furniture. Space was already there. Only the space was occupied by the furniture. When you remove the furniture, no space is coming in from outside. The space was there, occupied by furniture. You have removed the furniture. The space is recovered, reclaimed. Mind is deep down space, filled, occupied by thoughts. You remove some thoughts, space is created, are discovered, are reclaimed. You go on removing your thoughts by and by, and you go on regaining your space. This space is meditation. Slowly it can be done. Suddenly also. There is no need to go on for lives together to remove the furniture by and by. Because there are problems. When you remove the furniture, 1% space is created and 99% space is occupied. That 99% occupied space will not feel good by the unoccupied space. It will try to fill it. So one goes on slowly decreasing, and then again creating new thoughts. In the morning you sit for a meditation for some time. You slow down your process of thought. Then you go to the market, and again there is a rush of thoughts. The space is filled again. Next day you again do, and you go on doing this. Throwing out, inviting in again. Suddenly also, you can throw all furniture out. It is your decision. It is difficult. Because with the furniture, You have become accustomed. You may feel uncomfortable without the furniture. You will not know what to do with this space. You may become afraid even to move in this space. You have never moved in such a freedom. Mind is a conditioning. We have become accustomed of thoughts. Have you ever observed? Or if you have not observed, then observe. You go on repeating the same thoughts every day. You are like a gramophone record. And that too not a fresh new one. Old. You go on and on repeating the same. Why? What is the use of it? Only one use, just a long habit. You feel you are doing something. When lying on your bed, just waiting for the sleep to come, what you are doing every day? The same repetition. But it helps in a way. Old habits help. As conditionings, a child needs a toy. If the toy is given to him, he will fall into his sleep. Then you can take away the toy. But the toy, if the toy is not there, the child cannot fall into his sleep. It is a conditioning. The moment the toy is given to him, it triggers in his mind. Now he is ready to fall into his sleep. The same is happening with you. The toys may differ. One person cannot fall into his sleep unless he starts chanting Rama, Rama, Ram. He cannot fall into his sleep. This is a toy. If he chants Rama, Rama, Ram, the toy is given to him. He can fall into his sleep. You feel difficulty in a new room to fall asleep. If you are accustomed to sleep in particular clothes, then you will need those particular clothes every day. Psychologists say that if you sleep in a nightgown and it is not given to you, you will feel difficulty in falling asleep. Why? If you have never slept naked and you are told to sleep naked, you will not feel at ease. Why? There is no relationship between nakedness and sleep. But for you, there is relationship. Old habit. With old habits, one feels at ease, comfortable. Thinking patterns are also just habits. You feel comfortable. The same thought every day. The same routine. You feel everything is okay. You have investments in your thoughts. That's the problem. Your furniture is not just rubbish to be thrown. You have invested in it. Many things. If all the furniture is thrown immediately, it can be done. There are certain methods. We will talk. There are certain methods. Immediately, this very moment, you can be freed of your whole mental furniture. But then you will be suddenly vacant, empty. And you will not know who you are. You will not know now what to do. Because for the first time, your old patterns are no more. The shock may be too sudden. You may even die. Or you may go mad. That's why sudden methods are not used. Unless one is ready, sudden methods are not used. One may go suddenly mad. Because one will miss all the moorings. past drops immediately. And when past drops immediately, you cannot conceive the future, because the future was always conceived in terms of the past. Only the present remains, and you have never been in the present. Either you were in the past or in the future. So for the first time, just in the present, you will feel you have gone berserk, mad. That's why certain methods are not used unless you are working in a school, unless you are working with a teacher in a group, unless you are totally devoted, unless you have dedicated your whole life for meditation. Then gradual methods are good. By and by, they take long time. But by and by, you become accustomed to space. You begin to feel a space and the beauty of it, and the bliss of it. And then your furniture is removed by and by. So from ordinary thinking, it is good to become contemplatives. That's a gradual method. From contemplation, it is good to concentrate. That's the gradual method. And from concentration, it is good to take a jump into meditation. Then you are moving slowly, feeling the ground, every step. And when you are really rooted in any step, only then you begin to grow for the other. It is not a jump, it is gradual growth. These four things, ordinary thinking, contemplation, concentration, meditation, are 4 steps. Question: is the development of the navel center exclusively free and separate from the growth of heart and head centers, or with the growth of heart and head, does the navel center develop simultaneously? And also explain in which way will the training and techniques for the development of the navel center differ from the training and techniques for the development of the heart and head centers. One thing basic to be understood: heart and head centers are to be developed, not the navel center. Navel center is just to be discovered. It is not developed. The navel center is already there. You have to uncover or discover. It is there, fully developed. You are not to develop it. Heart center, head center are developments. They are not there to be discovered. They have to be developed. Society, culture, education, conditioning helps to develop them. But you are born with a navel center. Without navel center you cannot be. You can be without the heart center. You can be without the head center. They are necessities. It is good to have them, but you can be without them. It will be very inconvenient, but you can be without them. But without the navel center you cannot be. It is not a necessity. It is your life. So there are techniques how to develop the heart center, how to grow love, how to grow sensitivity, how to become a more sensitive mind. There are methods and techniques how to become more rational, more logical. Reason can be developed, emotion can be developed, but existence cannot be developed. It is already there. It has to be discovered. Many things are implied in this. One, it may not be possible for you to have a mind, a reasoning faculty like an Einstein. It may not be possible for you. But you can become a Buddha. Einstein is the mind center functioning at its perfection. Or someone, a lover, a Majnu, he is functioning at his heart center in its perfection. You may not be able to become a Majnu, but you can become a Buddha. Because Buddhahood is not to be developed in you, it is already there. It is concerned with the basic center, original center, the navel. It is already there. You are already a Buddha, only unaware. You are not already an Einstein. You will have to try. And then too, it is not a guarantee that you will become. There is no guarantee, because really it seems impossible. Why it seems impossible? Because the head of Einstein needs the same growth, the same milieu, the same training as was given to Einstein. It cannot be repeated because it is unrepeatable. You will have to find out the same parents first, because the training begins in the womb. It is difficult to find out the same parents. Impossible. How can you find the same parents? The same date of birth, the same home, the same associations, the same friends. You will have to repeat exactly the life of Einstein. Ditto. Even if one point is missing, you will be a different man. And that is impossible. One individual is born only once in this world. Because the same situation cannot be repeated. The same situation is such a big phenomena. It means the same world in the same moment. It is not possible. It is impossible. And you are already here. So whatsoever you do, your past will be in it. You cannot become an Einstein. Individuality cannot be repeated. Buddha is not an individual. Buddha is a phenomenon. No individual factors are meaningful. Just your being is enough to be a Buddha. The center is already there, functioning. You have to discover it. So the techniques of developing heart are techniques of developing a thing. And techniques about navel center are concerned with uncovering. You have to uncover. You are already a Buddha, you have to know the fact only. So there are two types of person, Buddhas who know that they are Buddhas and Buddhas who do not know that they are Buddhas. But all are Buddhas. as far as existence is concerned, everyone is same. Only in existence there is communism. In everything else, communism is absurdity. No one is equal. Inequality is basic in everything else. So it may look like a paradox if I say that only religion leads to communism. But I mean this communism, this deep equality of existence, of being. Then you are equal to Buddha, to Christ, to Krishna. But in no other way two individuals are equal. Unequality is basic as far as outward life is concerned. Equality is basic as far as inner life is concerned. So, these 112 methods are really not of developing the navel center. They are uncovering. They are for uncovering it. That's why instantly sometimes one becomes a Buddha. Because there is no question of creating something. If you can look at yourself, if you can go deep down into yourself, all that you need is already there. It is already the case. So the only question how to be thrown at that point where you are already a Buddha. So meditation doesn't help you to be a Buddha. It only helps you to become aware of your Buddhahood. One question more. Do all enlightened men become navel-centered? For example, is Krishnamurti head or navel-centered? Was Ramakrishna heart or navel-centered? Every enlightened man is navel-centered. But the expression of every enlightened man may use different centers. Clearly understand the distinction. Every enlightened man is navel-centered. There is no other possibility. But the expression is a different thing. Ramakrishna expresses himself from the heart. He uses his heart as vehicle of his message. Whatsoever he has found at the navel, he expresses through his heart. He sings, he dances. That is his way of expressing his bliss. The bliss is found at the navel, nowhere else. He is centered at the navel. But how to say to others that he is centered at the navel? He uses his heart for the expression. Krishnamurti uses his head for that expression. That's why their exceptions are contradictory. If you believe in Ramakrishna, you cannot believe in Krishnamurti. If you believe in Krishnamurti, you cannot believe in Ramakrishna. Because belief is always centered in the expression, not in the experience. Ramakrishna looks childish to a man who thinks with a reason. What is this nonsense, dancing, singing? What he is doing? Buddha never danced, and this Ramakrishna is dancing. He looks childish. To reason, heart looks always childish. But to the heart, reason looks useless, superficial. Whatsoever Krishnamurti says is the same. The experience is the same as it was of Ramakrishna or Chaitanya or Meera. But his expression is head-oriented. His expression is rational. If Ramakrishna will say Krishnamurti, he will say, come on and let us dance. Why wasting your time? Because through dance it can be expressed more easily and goes deep. But Krishnamurti will say, dance. One gets hypnotized through dance. Don't dance. Analyze. Reason. Reason it out. Analyze. Be aware. These are different centers used for expression. But the experience is the same. One can paint the experience. Zen masters have painted their experience. When they will get enlightened, they will paint it. They will not say anything. They will just paint it. Rishis of Upanishads have created beautiful poetries. When they will get enlightened, they will create poetry. Chaitanya used to dance. Ramakrishna used to sing. Buddha used head. Mahavir used head. Reason. To explain. To say whatsoever they have experienced. They created great systems of thought to express their experience. But the experience is neither rational nor emotional. It is beyond both. There have been few persons, very few. You can find many Krishnamurtis. You can find many Ramakrishnas. But only sometimes it happens that a person can express through both the centers. Then the man becomes confusing. Then you are never at ease with that man. Because you cannot conceive any relationship between the two. They appear contradictory. So if I say something, when I say something, I must say it through reason. So I attract many people who are rationalistic, head-oriented. Then someday they see me that I allow singing and dancing. They become uncomfortable. What is this? There is no relationship. But to me, there is no contradiction. Dancing is also a way of saying, and sometimes a deeper way. Reason is also a way of saying, and sometimes a very clear way. But both are ways of expression. If you can see a Buddha dancing, you will be in difficulty. If you see Mahavir playing on a flute, standing naked, then you will not be able to sleep. What has happened to Mahavir? Has gone mad. With Krishna the flute is okay. With Mahavir, it is absolutely unrelated. Flute in the hand of Mahavir. Inconceivable. You cannot even imagine it. But the reason is not that there is any contradiction between Mahavir and Krishna, Buddha and Chaitanya. Expression. And in a way, Buddha will attract a particular type of mind, the head-oriented mind. And Chaitanya and Ramakrishna will attract the quite opposite, the heart-oriented mind. But difficulties arise. Person like me create difficulties. I attract both. And then no one is at ease. Because whenever I am talking, then the head-oriented person is at ease. But whenever I allow the other expression, the head-oriented becomes uneasy. And the same happens to the other. When some emotional method is used, the heart-oriented feels at ease. But when I discuss, when I reason out something, then he is absent. He is not here. He feels this is not for me. One lady came just a day before, and she said, I was at Mount Abu. But then there was difficulty. The first day, when I heard you, it was beautiful. It appealed me. I was just thrilled. But then I saw kirtan, dancing. Then I decided to leave immediately. That was not for me. I went to the bus station. But then there was a problem. I wanted to hear you talk. So I came back. I didn't want you to miss what you were saying. She must have been in a difficulty. She said to me, it was so contradictory. It appears, because these centers are contradictory. And this contradiction is in you. Your head is not at ease with your head. Your head is not at ease with your heart. They are in conflict. Because of your inner conflict, Ramakrishna and Krishnamurti appear to be in conflict. Create a bridge between your head and heart. And then you will know these are mediums. Ramakrishna was absolutely uneducated. No development of reason. He was pure heart. Only one center was developed, heart. Krishnamurti is pure reason. He was in the hands of one of the most rigorous rationalists, Annie Besant, Leadbeater, and the Theosophists. They were great system makers of this century. Really, Theosophy is one of the greatest systems ever created. Absolutely rational. So he was brought up by rationalists. He is pure reason. Even if he talks about heart and love, the very expression is rational. Ramakrishna is different. Even if he talks about reason, he is absurd. Totapuri came to him and he was learning Vedanta. So Totapuri said, leave all this devotional nonsense. Leave this Kali, the mother, absolutely. Unless you leave all this, I am not going to teach you, because Vedanta is not devotion. It is knowledge. So Ramakrishna said, okay, but allow me one moment so that I can go and ask mother to leave everything, this whole nonsense, but allow me one moment to ask the mother. This is a heart-oriented man. Even to leave mother, he will have to ask mother. And he said, she is so loving, she will allow me, you don't bother. Totapuri couldn't understand, what is this? He says, she is so loving, she has never said me any time no. If I say, mother, I am to leave you because now I am learning Vedanta and I cannot do this devotional nonsense. Allow me, please. She will allow. She gives me total freedom. She is so loving. Create a bridge between your head and heart. And then all those who have ever become enlightened speak the same thing. Their languages may differ. Okay.